Welcome back to Virtual Reality Game Dev Ed. This is the 9th tutorial video on for our friend Sky on using MakeHuman in Blender. Now we're talking about clothes. Now again, this the models that come out of the stable release already have these clothes attached, and these clothes are already rigged up for the model. They already have the armature modifier and a subdivision surface modifier, so we're going to go ahead and for now we're just going to edit this as is. I'm basically just talking about clothes right now. What we're actually going to do is I'm going to show everyone how to put clothes on your models yourself. Once you have a model for a shirt like this, or pants or whatnot, dresses, whatever you want to make. But for now we're just going through some introductions, so let me go ahead and just keep talking about what we have, how to, what all goes into clothing. Okay. Next thing we want is to definitely have a UV map to put a texture on. We don't seem to have a UV map for this model of a shirt, so we're going to have to make one, and I will show everyone how to do that and add a texture next. But first thing we're going to do is look at these physics. Now this is actually an extremely simple shirt. We don't have any actual physics in it. It's not going to hang. It's going to stay pretty locked to our model when we move around, when we go to animate it. The shirt's going to stay pretty much locked to our armature like that right now, which is fine for this shirt because it's a pretty tight shirt model. But we actually do want to make that a little different for most shirts, for most clothing in general. First thing you want to do is enable cloth physics. Okay? Now this is something that works for rendering. These physics don't necessarily export very well. Cloth physics, no, I don't think it even exports into our game engine. So this is something that you use just to make very, very realistic and detailed rendered images for the artists. Now, of course, I'm going to go over particle hair here in this series as well, which is another thing that you can't actually export for a game model. So we're actually going to go over two types of hair. We're going to make game hair, and we're going to make particle hair. See, Sky here is actually an artist, and she'll be working on her art, as much as she's making models for our games. So I've got to show off all of these wonderful functions here that Blender has for rendering, such as the cloth physics. We're actually going to put a few different physics in here. We want soft body, cloth, and collision. But for now, we know this is cloth, so let's go ahead and just make cloth. Okay, the vertex groups, we want to pin down most of these vertex groups here. We actually want most of them to stay attached to our body and just have the edges of the shirt and the collar and the edges of the sleeves able to move around. Okay, we don't want the entire thing to act quite like cloth. We want most of it to be pretty pinned. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pin we're going to create a vertex group here on our shirt. That'll be the pin area. Okay, so I want to select, let's press 1 on your keyboard to jump to your front view and hold down the control and use your left mouse, and we have this little circling tool. We want to circle, make sure your vertice mode is selected, so we're only selecting these vertices. We're creating a new vertex group, so that's what we want here. We want vertices. Okay, just select as much of this as you can see for now. Be careful, don't get too close to the collar yet. We're not going to select that. Okay. And you can keep holding control and circling things, and it will keep all your others selected. And just hold shift and right click on the ones that you didn't manage to get. Okay, you see how that collar comes out? We want that to move like an actual collar, right? So we want to select these vertices behind it. And we actually want to come up a little bit. We want to select all the way up to the edge of the collar there. That way we have just this piece on the edge here hanging loose. Okay. Now, one thing you may notice real quick, we can't see all of the vertices here. We want to be able to select the vertices behind this part of the collar. So, when I'm done going around and selecting everything that I want here around the collar, let me move this out of the way. Control Z. Oh man. You gotta move this in object mode. I don't want to go back to object mode right now because that might possibly deselect what I have already selected here, so I'm not going to do that. Once I have the ones that I know I want to select selected, we're actually going to jump into wireframe mode. Try to get the ones behind that part of the collar. Okay. Press Z on your keyboard to jump to wireframe mode. Okay. Now look really closely. You see we have a couple that we missed. Now in wireframe mode we can go right through that collar and select the vertices that we couldn't get because the collar is in the way. But be careful here. If you're not paying attention, make sure you're selecting the right vertices. If you accidentally select one of the wrong vertices, it's no big deal. You can always unselect it. Just hit Control Z and back right out of it once. But go around and carefully select all of the parts on the shirt, all of the vertices that you want here. Okay. Just be careful not to actually select the collar itself. I'm going to run out of time here doing this. This is a timely process. This is where graphics design gets a bit tedious. You want to make sure not to select the collar. So I'm actually going to finish this after the end of this video and pick up in the next video where I would be if everyone had seen me. Oops. Control Z. Do this. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'm pretty much out of time for this video, so when I come back you will see the rest of the shirt that we want to be selected already selected here, so we can and I'll show you how to put it into a vertex group so we can apply this cloth physics to it. Okay. I will see you all again soon.